Hello and welcome to the Bluffs News Express. I'm James Lathrop. Tom Hanafan, mayor of Council Bluffs for the past 28 years, is not running for re-election in November. The announcement comes at a press conference Wednesday, March 27th. It'll sure be strange without Hanafan in the mayor's office, a place he never expected to be.
They said you can't win, you don't live in the right area, you're not connected to the right people.
That's what they told a young Tom Hanafan when he tried to run for city council back in 1982.
And that was just like, waving a red flag at me. You can't win, you can't do this. And then we were able to do some good things on the city council.
Hanafan worked his way up from city council member to mayor in just 3 years.
We didn't really have any plans. There weren't any real planning, where you're going to be in 20 years, where you're going to be in 30 years.
The 1965 Thomas Jefferson graduate took to the streets and talked to the community, listening to their issues.
And listening was probably the best thing I could do, was to listen to what people wanted to see the community change.
Hanafan realized the impact of listening to the community issues could have at a young age.
We lived on the west side. Our street in front of our house was dirt and gravel. And my dad got involved in an organization called the West End Improvement Club. And they went to the city council and they said, we got to have paved streets. Then I got to watch that happen as I was growing up, and they paved the street out in front of the house.
Communication with the public played a key role in 1994, as the first comprehensive plan under Hanafan was published, a feat only achieved by community togetherness.
Try to bring people together. It just seems to work better. Make sure people get a voice. It's like the casinos. We put it all together, the people voted for it. And we had a 60-person committee that got together that said, if we're going to have riverboat gaming in Council Bluffs, how do we want to put it together?
Bringing casinos to the city was one of the mayor's most notable accomplishments while in office, and is one of the many stressful situations endured in nearly 30 years as a city leader.
The flood kind of did me in a little bit. I'll be honest with you, 110 straight days of that.
I'm Tom Hanafan, mayor of the city of Council Bluffs. Millions of gallons of Missouri River water pass through the city of Council Bluffs every minute.
What was it like to go through that as a mayor?
Yeah, it was pretty difficult. It was a lot more difficult because of the unknown. As pump stations started failing, as we saw the water rising, not knowing that 60-year-old levees would hold, as we saw the groundwater starting to swell, especially in the Playland Park area and areas throughout the west side. It was extremely disheartening because you didn't see a window of opportunity.
But like so many times before, the community came together, with Hanafan leading the way.
It's really amazing because our anticipation was maybe 3 stations. As you can see, there's so many stations. And people I've talked to that have been here today, they just want to be part of it, want to help.
I'll be honest with you, I was stressed to my max personally, but felt better every day when I saw people perform the way they did, and we were in very good shape. We had very capable people.
With the flood behind him and a wealth of new projects on the way, Hanafan feels Council Bluffs is on the right track to succeed without him in office.
Financially, we're in good shape. The future looks awfully bright with a lot of good things going on here in Council Bluffs.
Mayor Hanafan is not backing anyone currently to take his spot in office. Under Hanafan, we saw Council Bluffs flourish, improving the quality of life with things like River's Edge Park, the Bayless Park renovation, CB Recycling Center, and the 40 miles of biking trails around the city. Improved our roads with projects like the Avenue G Viaduct, the East Beltway, and of course the West Broadway Viaduct reconstruction. Under Hanafan, we got a new fire station and made improvements to 3 others. We also have new police and fire training facilities. We have a new library and Union Pacific Railroad Museum, and he gave us improvements to the 100 block, the Veterans Memorial Site in Bayless, the casinos, and Metro Crossing Shopping Center, just to name a few. After the mayor's announcement, we spoke with members of the community on their reaction.
Well, I think, that's the only way anybody else could have got elected mayor. If he retired, he was well liked.
Yeah, that's a bummer. He's a good mayor. I think he's done a lot for the city of Council Bluffs.
I think he's put in his fair share of time, and if he wants to get on with his life and do other things, I think that's great for him.
I'm actually looking forward to see the new phase, maybe changes that are going to be made, new fresh start possibly.
Well, I'm sure he's done a real good job. Council Bluffs has sure changed over I think it's about 25 years he's been mayor. And, anybody that I know always thinks quite a bit of Tom.
I did like that he participated in activities around town, like the city ride that they did on the bicycle, and he led the ride.
A lot of jobs been created.
He's a great guy, and everybody liked him out there. And then when he said he was going to be mayor, I said, wow, that's good for you. You're moving right on up there. So yeah, he's a wonderful person.
And a lot of the recreation's been redone. That's great.
Council Bluffs is evolving. I mean, there's a lot of good things that are happening here. The Arts District is improving. There are just a lot of good things that cleaning up the city, making it a little more progressive.
Well, I just hope he has an enjoyable retirement, because I'm sure he's earned it.
Coming up after the break, we switch gears a bit with some exclusive news involving the 2013 Celebrate CB celebration. Find out this year's theme on the other side.
Thanks to ASI and my free hearing evaluation, my life has changed for the better.
1 in 5 Americans suffer from varying degrees of hearing loss.
Over 85% of people with hearing loss can be effectively treated with digital hearing instruments from ASI.
Thank you, ASI, for allowing me to hear all the things I haven't heard in years.
ASI, providing better hearing and better living for 35 years.
What does the world need? What will you become? Iowa Western. The world is waiting.
Hello and welcome back to the Bluffs News Express. I'm James Lathrop. Joining me in the studio today is Carol Horner with Celebrate CB and Brian Biederman with First National Bank. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having us.
You're here to talk about the theme for Celebrate CB, but before we get to that, tell me about Celebrate CB in Council Bluffs and what's it all about?
Sure, it's our largest and longest running festival in Council Bluffs. Started back in the 70s with a parade. It began with the schools kind of initiating it, and it has progressed to be more like 8 days. It was, we always called it Pride Week, and now it's Pride 8 days almost. Keeps getting longer and longer and more things going on.
Well, Brian, what's your role in this with First National Bank?
First National Bank is absolutely thrilled to be this year's presenting sponsor for the parade and the Celebrate CB overall event. We're absolutely excited. We've been in the community for about 5 years now. We have 2 branches, and we are just absolutely thrilled to be a part of this great event.
How did this happen? How did First National become a part of this huge event?
Actually, we were talking with Carol, and last year there was for the first time they did an overall sponsor for the event, a presenting sponsor, and Carol was talking about the opportunities. And when I heard about that, it just seemed like the perfect match with First National Bank being a local family-owned bank, and it seemed like a tremendous opportunity. So we discussed the details with Carol and ended up being able to be this year's presenting sponsor.
Well, fantastic.
Yeah, I think he came and asked for dibs on our event. So I love our event. It is well supported by the community, and we're excited about First National Bank. And you know, they've in years past have been sponsors also, you know, parade sponsors and that kind of thing. And then this year, stepping up to be presenting sponsor. It's you know, I love this event because it's an easy sell for sponsorships, but it's really nice when organizations come up and ask to be involved, and that's what First National did.
Okay, well let's talk about that theme. What is the theme for this year's Celebrate CB?
So the theme this year is called Love Where You Live, and we pick themes based on, it's really designed for the parade. The theme is designed more for the parade than anything else, to give parade entries an opportunity to decorate and to build floats and those kinds of things around the theme, and so we try to pick something that has a little bit of a generic quality but is really fitting for Council Bluffs. And Love Where You Live actually is borrowed from our good friends at Keep Council It's Beautiful. A few years ago, when they did Clean Sweep, which they do every Pride Week, every Celebrate CB week, they had a little tag on their T-shirts that said "Love Where You Live," and I kept thinking then that would be a really good theme someday. And so we were talking about themes last fall, and I brought it up, and we were talking further, and it was just like, there's just nothing better. Love Where You Live is exactly what Celebrate CB is about. It's about being excited about our home community and celebrating that and showing how much we love where we live. So that's where it came from.
Well, Carol, Brian, thanks for joining me. Celebrate CB, sponsored by First National Bank, starts May 10th at Rivers Edge Park. Stay tuned to Council Bluffs News in the coming weeks for more information on this week-long celebration. Thanks for watching this edition of the Bluffs News Express. I'm James Lathrop. See you next week.